All right, Vikings fans. I don't know about you, but after seeing what happened at the very first day of training camp, I think we've got a lot more to talk about than anyone expected. Everybody came in looking for one big answer, but instead, we walked away with even more questions. And honestly, that's what makes this so exciting. There were some standout performances, a few surprises that nobody saw coming, and one player who completely stole the spotlight. If this is what day one looked like, you can only imagine what's coming next. So stick around, because there's a lot to break down. And trust me, you won't want to miss any of it. If you're hyped for Vikings football, smash that like button and let me know down in the comments. SKOL all day. If you truly believe this team is ready to make some noise this season, I want to see how many real Vikings fans are watching. The first day of Minnesota Vikings training camp has already delivered something every fan was waiting to see, but what unfolded on the practice field may have created even more questions than answers. Everyone came into camp expecting a clear indication of who was taking control of the quarterback competition. Yet after watching everything that happened, the biggest takeaway isn't that someone has officially won the job. Instead, it's that this battle appears to be exactly what the coaching staff promised from the very beginning. Every rep matters now. Every completion is being analyzed, and every mistake could shift momentum in a competition that is only getting started. But while the quarterbacks naturally stole most of the headlines, another player quietly became the biggest star of the entire practice. And if what happened on day one is any indication, Vikings fans could be looking at a season where one offensive weapon reaches another level. Let's start with the quarterback battle because that was everyone's primary focus entering practice. According to the observations from reporters on the field, the workload was almost perfectly balanced between Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy. One chart showed Murray receiving 19 team reps compared to McCarthy's 15, while another observer had the split at 21-17. Regardless of which count proves most accurate, the difference remained only 4 reps, reinforcing exactly what head coach Kevin O'Connell had previously indicated. Neither quarterback is being handed the starting role, and both will continue receiving nearly identical opportunities throughout training camp. Looking strictly at production, the numbers tell two different stories. Kyler Murray finished the day completing 10 of his 17 passes. His stat line included 2 dropped passes by receivers and 1 interception, which was recorded by newly acquired cornerback James Pierre. On paper, those numbers don't immediately jump off the page, but statistics alone don't capture everything Murray showed during practice. Several of his best throws demonstrated exactly why his experience and natural playmaking ability remain so intriguing. He squeezed a pass into an extremely tight window to Jordan Addison during 7-on-7 drills, later connected with Justin Jefferson for a significant gain during full team work, and once again found Addison across the middle with one of the layered throws that have become one of Murray's greatest strengths throughout his NFL career. Those passes required timing, touch, and anticipation, showcasing the ability to throw over defenders without sacrificing accuracy. Even Murray's final completion of practice highlighted both his strengths and the challenge ahead. The pass reached T.J. Hawkinson, but it forced the tight end to extend with one hand to secure the catch. It wasn't perfect, but it illustrated Murray's willingness to attack tight windows instead of simply taking the safe option. On the opposite sideline, J.J. McCarthy delivered a very different performance. From a pure efficiency standpoint, McCarthy had the better statistical day, completing 13 of his 15 attempts. However, those completions largely came on shorter throws, with very few deep attempts challenging the defense vertically. His practice didn't begin smoothly. Early in team drills, McCarthy hesitated while progressing through his reads, arriving late to Justin Jefferson on the backside of the formation. Safety Jay Ward broke up the pass, and shortly afterward, McCarthy absorbed contact while delivering another throw, something quarterbacks are obviously expected to avoid during practice. But as the session continued, something changed. McCarthy gradually settled into the offense and began firing the football with impressive confidence. He connected with rookie tight end Gavin Bartholomew over the middle during 7-on-7 drills before delivering an accurate intermediate throw to Miles Price along the right sideline. During another team period, he followed that sequence with consecutive strikes to Jones and Bartholomew, reminding everyone why his arm talent has never been questioned. Observers repeatedly pointed out the same characteristic that has followed McCarthy since entering the league. When he plants his feet and commits to a throw, the football explodes out of his hand. Velocity has never been the concern. Accuracy on driven throws has rarely been questioned either. The discussion instead continues to revolve around one specific area of development. Several observers noted that nearly every throw still comes with maximum velocity. Whether the target is 5 yards away or 20, McCarthy often delivers what amounts to a fastball. Some reporters felt they still hadn't seen enough layered throws requiring touch and trajectory, while others believed he showed noticeable improvement in that department during practice. That difference in evaluation created one of the more interesting storylines from day one, because it suggests McCarthy's development may ultimately depend less on arm strength and far more on learning when not to throw every pass with maximum power. Considering this is already his third year inside the offensive system, many expected McCarthy to appear slightly more comfortable operating the structure of Kevin O'Connell's offense than Murray, who has only recently immersed himself in the playbook. Murray himself reportedly stated that he has been studying the system extensively and already feels comfortable with it, eliminating what many believed would be his biggest disadvantage entering camp. That reality makes every upcoming practice even more important because neither quarterback appears significantly ahead of the other after day one. One displayed better efficiency, while the other showcased more explosive throws down the field. The coaching staff now has exactly what it wanted: a genuine competition with no obvious favorite emerging after the opening practice. But here's where things become even more interesting, because while everyone arrived focused almost entirely on the quarterbacks, another player completely stole the spotlight and forced nearly every observer in attendance to start talking about him by the end of practice. And what Jordan Addison did throughout day one might be the biggest reason for optimism surrounding this Vikings offense heading into the season. Before we continue with everything Addison showed, along with the impressive first impressions from rookie Kelvin Banks, the encouraging news surrounding Brian Flores' defense, and several fascinating moments involving Jamal Adams and Jordan Mason, let me know your opinion in the comments. After everything you've heard from day one, who do you believe should be leading this quarterback competition right now? J.J., McCarthy, or Kyler Murray? Jordan Addison quickly became the biggest story outside the quarterback competition, and according to nearly everyone who watched practice, he looked almost impossible to contain. That shouldn't surprise Vikings fans considering what he's already shown throughout his career, but there was something different about the energy surrounding him on day one. Every route looked sharp, every separation came naturally, and whether the football came from Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy, Addison consistently found ways to create opportunities. It's another reminder that having him lined up opposite Justin Jefferson remains one of the biggest luxuries anywhere in the NFL. The coaching staff also received encouraging news on the defensive side. Rookie first-round pick Kelvin Banks was fully participating after recovering from his foot injury, eliminating one of the biggest concerns surrounding his readiness for training camp. Paul Allen even compared Banks's physical presence to Akiem Hicks, a player Vikings fans remember well for creating problems while playing for the Chicago Bears. If Banks develops into that type of disruptive force, Brian Flores' defense could become even more dangerous because the ultimate goal remains generating pressure, with only 4 pass rushers instead of constantly relying on blitz packages. Another player already making an impression is Jamal Adams. Asked why he chose Minnesota, Adams pointed directly to Brian Flores and the opportunity to play in such an aggressive defensive system. Even more entertaining was his response when reporters asked which position he expects to play. Adams smiled and joked that he could play linebacker, safety, cornerback, defensive end, nose tackle, or even kicker if necessary. His comments perfectly reflect the versatility Flores demands from his defenders, and it certainly sounds like Adams is embracing whatever role the coaching staff gives him. There was also a memorable offensive highlight involving running back Jordan Mason, who reportedly made a move in the open field that caused Josh Metellus to lose his footing during team drills, sending the offensive sideline into celebration. If Mason continues contributing both as a runner and as a receiver, he could become an important weapon early in the season. Finally, Brian Flores acknowledged that adjusting to life without Harrison Smith remains an ongoing process. With Smith's future still unresolved, Minnesota rotated multiple defensive backs, including Theo Jackson and rookie Jacoby Thomas, searching for the right combination alongside Josh Metellus and Jay Ward. That battle will be another storyline worth following throughout camp. Overall, Day 1 couldn't have provided a much stronger start. The quarterback competition remains completely open. Jordan Addison looked like the most dominant player on the field. Kelvin Banks appears healthy and ready to contribute. And Brian Flores already has multiple intriguing pieces to work with on defense. It's only the beginning of training camp, but the intensity and competition are already exactly where Vikings fans hoped they would be. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think J.J. McCarthy did enough to stay ahead? Or did Kyler Murray show enough flashes to make this quarterback battle even tighter? Share your thoughts in the comments, because I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and don't want to miss any exclusive Vikings training camp updates, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Training camp is just getting started, and there are plenty more storylines to uncover. SKOL